Welcome back, wrestling fans, to the National Wrestling League Kansas City. Dak Draper, the scene stealer, is on the scene after stealing Blaine Meeks' victory right out from under him, just like he always does.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Dak Draper. I get so tired of seeing that idiot Blaine Meeks. Finally, Dak looks like he's got something to say. Let's hear what a real man has to say.
All right, shut your mouths while Dak Draper is talking.
Absolutely, it's rude to keep talking.
This guy's disgusting.
1 month ago, I stood in this ring and I said that you would never be able to find someone from Kansas City who could stand toe-to-toe with me, and you all booed.
But he was right, wasn't he? He was right.
So far, Dak Draper undefeated here in the National
Well,
Wrestling League.
shame on you, because in the
that.
last month, I've easily dispatched the greatest athletes Kansas City has to offer. I'm not just the best wrestler here, I'm the greatest man in this entire city.
That's probably true.
So I've initiated the Dak Draper Dreams Do Come True Challenge.
Oh, give me a break.
I'm not just here to wrestle guys from Kansas City now. I'll stand toe-to-toe with any man from anywhere in the world so they can know what it feels like to be in the ring with the Mile High Magnum.
Got to be a confident man to issue a challenge like that, and Dak Draper is that confident man. Let's see if anybody's
confident or cocky. There's a fine line there, and I think Draper. Who's this?
Now, we've heard about this guy coming, Scott Slade.
Not much is known about this gentleman, but it looks like Scott Slade has answered the Dreams Come True challenge of Dak Draper.
Introducing from Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing 235 pounds, welcoming him to the NWL KC, Scott Slade.
Look at the physique on this guy.
Scott Slade, absolutely heard the buzz about this guy coming to the NWL, but I got to say, I don't know a whole lot about him. Certainly an international man of mystery. We know he's from Las Vegas. We know he's in great shape. You can tell that by looking at him. But other than that, I don't know if he has. It's going to take a lot more than a good physique to be in the ring with Dak Draper.
That's right. The fans of the Scottish Rite Temple here in Kansas City may not even know what to think of Scott Slade themselves, but one thing's for sure, he plans on answering this challenge and putting up one heck of a fight against Dak Draper here tonight.
Well, you got to give Scott Slade credit. If you're going to make an impression, you got to make it against a top-notch competition. So rise or fall, he's in for a fight here tonight. If he wins, he's from Las Vegas, right? He's a gambler. If he wins, that's a big feather in his cap. If he loses, well, then you lost to the very, very best, and that's not so bad, I guess.
Dak Draper definitely playing a little gambling of his own by he hasn't had time to prepare for Scott Slade. So it is a gamble of his to issue these open challenges, because if someone like Scott Slade gets in the ring and upsets Dak Draper, because quite frankly, if he wins, it would be an upset, Dak Draper has no one to blame but himself.
Absolutely. You do take a risk when you put yourself out there, but that's what being a confident, just an alpha male like Dak Draper, that's what being confident is all about. This guy has confidence to spare, and I think that he doesn't worry about anything like that. He's not like you. He doesn't worry about that he didn't have time to prepare. I'm sure Dak Draper, he just went in and took his ACT and his SATs. He didn't have to study for him, and he probably got a perfect score on him. The guy probably set world records in high school, and he didn't have to really work all that hard for him. Dak Draper, he's just a better human being than you especially, and probably most people. I'm probably right up there in his league, but the rest of you, fall short for sure.
Why don't you go out there and cheer him on at ringside? Don't sit here with me. Go cheer on Dak Draper if you love him so much.
Believe me, if I didn't get fired for not being here making sure you do your job, I'd be right there at ringside cheering him on, that's for sure. Why wouldn't I be? I like winners. I suppose you like losers. That's why you like guys like Blaine Meeks. You guys sit around and you talk about the Marvel Universe together.
We've had a few conversations about comics.
I'll bet
Nothing
you
wrong
had.
with that.
I'll bet you had. I see the 16-sided die in your pocket right there. You two guys are peas in a pod.
20-sided die.
Meanwhile, me and Dak Draper are out there having the time of our life. And this guy, man, look at that. Impressive maneuver right off the bat.
Bell sounds and we are underway here. Scott Slade answers the open challenge of Dak Draper. Let's see what Scott Slade can do here in his debut in the National Wrestling League. And so far, he got taken over by Dak Draper.
One thing we can say that we know for sure about Scott Slade, now the talent scouts here in the NWL, a little tit for tat right there. Whatever you can do, I can do better, I guess. That's the game they're playing right now. We know that, there you go. You can't turn your back on Dak Draper. That's what I was going to say.
Not a smart move by Scott Slade, turning his back on the mile-high Magnum. He got forearm for his troubles there. Nice hip, almost a judo throw, takes over Dak Draper. Make that 2.
One of the things you can tell from Scott Slade right now is the guy's got a variety of different styles that he seems to employ. And again, Dak Draper going into this blind, right, just like we are. We don't know a whole lot about Scott Slade, but he's certainly doing a great job against Dak, keeping him off his feet, keeping him sort of off balance right now.
I would say those were almost judo throws. So maybe this gentleman has some skill in the martial arts. Like you said, he's a man of mystery. We don't know too much about him, but that was definitely martial arts style throws there from Scott Slade.
Absolutely. Dak Draper, though, always on top of his game. Yeah, I wouldn't count Dak out. He's just kind of trying to feel. There's a feeling out process going on right here, I believe, from Dak Draper.
Dak Draper is skilled enough to know that he has to be prepared for anybody who steps through those ropes and tries to challenge him. So you're right. He's probably doing a feeling out process right now, both jockeying for position here with those arm ringers, both slipping out of each other's maneuvers as well.
Definitely seems to be sort of a feeling out process for both of these men. Dak trying to see what kind of style maybe that Scott Slade is adapting to, and then you see it opening like that. Well, Scott Slade always, he seems to be ahead of Dak, one step ahead all the time.
Smart arm drag throw over. He looked like he was going to get taken down to the mat by Dak Draper and had none of that and actually used Dak Draper's weight to throw him over. This Scott Slade is impressive so far.
You can tell that there's a bit of respect here from both of these men based on how slow they're moving, how methodical. They're neither man wanting to make that first big mistake.
2 Japanese-style arm drags there, and Dak Draper does not want any part of the momentum that Scott Slade has put together for himself.
That's a smart veteran move right there. Things aren't going your way. You get out of the ring and you kind of recollect yourself, maybe get yourself back on track. He's jawing with these fans a little bit, maybe taking Scott Slade's mind off the match just a little bit.
He's trying to take that sign away from the fan. He needs to pay more attention to his opponent, Scott Slade. Oh! Drops him neck first over that top rope. Dak Draper used that as an opening to get a move off on Scott Slade.
All part
belly
of the
to back
plan.
suplex.
Beautiful maneuver right there. All part of the plan for Dak Draper. He lured us all in with that, and it looks like Scott Slade is paying the price for it.
2 count only after driving a knee right into the jaw of Scott Slade. Dak Draper seemed to almost have planned that attack when Scott Slade was looking at him on the outside, being distracted by that fan, dropped his neck right over that top rope, and now this is the position we're in.
He has really got it, that rear chin lock cinched in tight. If Todd Countryman was any good at his job, he'd be in there checking to see if Scott Slade wanted to give it up. I think he probably does. Dak Draper, you've seen the size of that guy's arms. This guy's so tall, so big. He's got all that leverage up it that really hurts Scott Slade. Scott Slade in a world of hurt right now.
Dragging him down by his hair. And you saw that, Christopher. He took him by his hair and threw him down to the mat. Unfortunately, referee didn't see it. Puts a break on that arm drag and takes him over with the head scissors. Nicely done by Dak Draper, showing some technical ability there.
You say that like you're surprised that he has technical ability, and yet we see it week in and week out right here on the NWL.
2, only gets a 2 count. Scott Slade able to mount some offense there after that head scissors takeover by Dak Draper, looking for that belly to back suplex and went for a pin and was only able to get a 2.
Did you see that? Scott Slade was checking his heart rate right there. He was checking to see just, I guess, how exerted he is or something.
Spinning back elbow after almost like a Rainmaker back elbow. Driving that knee into the face over and over again. Nice camera work by our guys here, getting you right in on top of the action.
We have seen Dak Draper use that spinning back elbow on many occasions. It is a game changer, that's for sure. Anytime he hits somebody with that, Dak Draper firmly in control, sometimes even puts guys away with that thing.
Drives it with such malice and such authority when he connects with that spinning back elbow. And yes, he can put away somebody with that maneuver. Again, locking in the chin lock. Look at how tight he's got that chin lock on Scott Slade, really wrenching down, making sure he's got to gasp. He's got to work for every breath of air he's trying to take.
Absolutely. You got to make that guy carry your own body weight, work really hard.
Scott Slade going for a schoolboy here, too. Only gets a 2 count. Clothesline. Takes Scott Slade right out of his boots.
He may have knocked him out with that. We haven't seen Scott Slade moving too much. Oh, you can't cover him like that, Dak. Hey, look, I appreciate showing somebody up, and I appreciate being cocky, but that was a wasted opportunity there from Dak Draper.
Again, locking down that chin lock, making sure that he's got to carry. He's putting all of his weight, all of his pressure on the neck and trapezius muscles of Scott Slade.
But you notice how much happier I have been in the last, say, 10 minutes or so than I was the previous 10 minutes before that when I had to sit here and talk about that super geek Blaine Meeks. Now I get to talk about a real competitor like Dak Draper, the guy that this company should be basing all of its everything on. And now, man, I'm just so much happier that I don't have to deal with that dork Blaine.
Mahi Straw Cradle rolls up Dak Draper, gets a 2 count. Scott Slade using every bit of his offense to try to get a victory here over Dak Draper.
Well, you don't know that he's using every bit of his offense. I mean, we don't know anything about this guy yet. Who knows what he's got in store for Dak Draper?
Multiple pinning combinations tells me that he's willing to do anything. Wow, spinning right hand connects with the face of Draper. This could be it. We could be looking at Scott Slade getting a victory over Dak Draper here, connected with that right hand.
Last guy saw do that very effectively was Kerry Von Erich with his discus punch. Really knocked out a lot of guys.
Crumbling him with a forearm there off the ropes. He didn't even wait for Scott Slade to turn around and just came at him full force and connected right with that forearm, right to the face, sending Scott Slade to the outside.
Absolutely. He hit him right on the button, as they say, with that one. Scott Slade is out, I think, on his out on the ring floor. Well, he is back up on his feet, but he is worse for wear for sure.
Dak Draper stays on the attack.
Gator roll.
Looks like he's looking to utilize the gator roll here. Trying to get Scott Slade off his equilibrium off. Rolls him right outside the ring. What does Draper have planned here? You know, everything Dak Draper does, there's a plan to it.
Taking a little break there. Good for him. Well-deserved. A couple of seconds rest there from Dak Draper. Scott Slade in a bad way right now. That gator roll, he really wrenches up on the neck and on the head. And he's right back to that front face lock.
Todd Countryman putting the count on. Scott Slade able to make it back in the ring in the nick of time.
It's a good thing that Scott Slade made it back into the ring because Todd Countryman, well, he can't count higher than 6, so he would have been exposed for the idiot that he is. Product of the Iowa City Schools districts there, Todd Countryman.
You stop. Todd Countryman's a great referee here in the National Wrestling League.
Of the 10 people that I like the least, he is 6 of them.
Oh, tries to connected with that spinning back elbow. Looks like Scott Slade, stopped it and connected with a knee of his own. Dak Draper may be out. That connected right with the chin of Dak Draper after the block on that spinning elbow.
I would say that Dak Draper maybe bit off a little bit more than he thought he was here tonight. He was thinking, who knows, maybe there's a student in the background, somebody maybe trying to make their debut. He didn't expect a challenge this hard from a guy like Scott Slade. Scott Slade is really impressing me here tonight. This guy is, I think he's got to be figured into the title consideration. I know he's not in the tournament, but this guy's going to be around, and man, he is really showing me something here.
Absolutely. Scott Slade with a series of right hands connects with Dak Draper. Looks like he was going for a bulldog, just drives Dak Draper's head into the turnbuckle, folds it up with a clothesline. This guy has a wide array of offensive maneuvers that he is showing here at the Scottish Rite Temple, and it looks like he could be setting Draper up for a snap suplex or a suplex
nice job by Draper, blocks it. Look at that. That
deadlifts him into the air.
Wow.
Vertical suplex driving Dak Draper down into the center of the ring. Scott Slade needs to make the cover right here. This could be it. 1, 2. 2 3/4.
Unbelievable maneuver there. Dak Draper about 250, 260 pounds right there. We were in perfect position to block that maneuver. Scott Slade powered him up into that huge suplex right there. Dak Draper really feeling the effects of that one. That was impressive by Scott Slade. It looks like, is Dak leaving?
Dak doesn't want
He's
any
gonna take
more.
off.
He doesn't want any more
Maybe that's
of
the
Scott
smartest
Slade.
move. Nope,
Scott Slade
he's
puts
got
the
him.
brakes on him. Looks like he's dragging him back into the ring. What is
What's
he
this
doing
now?
here?
Front face lock. Looks like you might be setting him up for a DDT.
Drawing
Yes.
Dak Draper into the mat after
This could be it.
pulling him out too. Oh, that was so close. Out of all the matches we've seen from Dak Draper, this is the closest we've ever seen to him possibly tasting defeat.
Dak Draper, you wanted a test. It looks like you got one in this international man of mystery, Scott Slade. Scott Slade has come here to make a big debut, and it looks like he might do just that. I don't know what he's setting him up
Look
for
for
here.
a Gotch-style pile driver. Dak Draper gets the best of that. Floats over into a cover, only gets a 2 count. Scott Slade kicks out. Gut wrench position here by Scott Slade. Nice gut wrench suplex. Continues to hold on to Dak Draper. Going for another one, showing his
Is he
incredible
going to go one
strength.
more? This guy is an animal. Look how strong this guy is.
Just whipping Dak Draper over like he was nothing. Shooting the half, going for the cover. 1, 2. Almost gets a 3 count, 3 consecutive gut wrench suplexes. Incredible strength by Scott Slade. Rolls him over.
He's gonna
Dak
catch him
taking
sleeping.
advantage. 1, 2. Almost gets a 3 count there.
Very obvious amateur background in the background of Scott Slade for sure. You can see that evident there, but nothing like
Just
a
got
rope
caught
across
in the
the neck.
stun gun. This could be it. The Mile High Dr. Bomb.
Unbelievable.
1, 2, 3, and that's it for the debuting Scott Slade. Dak Draper remains undefeated here in the National Wrestling League.
Absolutely, man. I was very, very impressed with the skills of Scott Slade, but it just goes to show you how talented Dak Draper really is. This is a guy he knew nothing about, and he came into it blind, and he still comes out on top. There's your winner right there. Dare I say it, he's going to be the first Kansas City champion here in the NWL. That is Dak Draper, the Mile High Magnet. If you're not on board with him, well then shame on you.
After that victory over the debuting Scott Slade, I look forward to seeing Scott Slade a lot more here in the National Wrestling League, and it's hard to argue after a victory like that of Dak Draper. He may in fact be our first Kansas City heavyweight champion.
Absolutely. Who's going to beat him? Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Red Cloud? Is it going to be Niles Punk? I don't know. Looks like this guy might have everybody's number here in the NWL.
Great match here. We'll be right back with your main event of the evening on the National Wrestling League.